Calvin Johnson, shattering Jerry Rice's receiving yards record. Jerry Rice's 1995 season was a masterpiece of receiving excellence. The greatest receiver in NFL history caught passes for 1,848 yards, a number that seemed absolutely untouchable. Rice set this record during his prime years with the San Francisco 49ers, and for 17 years, it stood as the gold standard for what was possible in a single season. What made Rice's record seem unbreakable wasn't just the number, it was who set it. This was Jerry Rice, the most dominant receiver in football history, playing in one of the most prolific passing offenses ever assembled. The 49ers had Steve Young throwing the ball, and Rice was running routes with surgical precision. For nearly 2 decades, receivers tried and failed to approach Rice's mark. Randy Moss came incredibly close with 1,632 yards in 2003. Torrey Holt even closer with 1,696 yards that same year, but nobody would crack the 1,800-yard barrier that Rice had established. Then came 2012, and Calvin Johnson obliterated that record, finishing with 1,964 yards receiving. Playing for the Detroit Lions, Megatron created matchup problems that defenses simply couldn't solve with his combination of size, speed, and hands. Rob Gronkowski, demolishing Ditka's 50-year record. In 1961, Chicago Bears tight end Mike Ditka caught 12 touchdown passes, setting a record that seemed absolutely untouchable for his position. Tight ends in that era were primarily blockers who occasionally caught passes. For one to score 12 touchdowns in a season was almost unthinkable. For 50 years, half a century, Ditka's record stood as a monument to what seemed impossible for the tight end position. The game evolved, tight ends became more involved in passing offenses, but somehow no one could match what Ditka had accomplished. The record felt unbreakable because tight ends were still primarily run blockers for most of NFL history. Even as the position evolved, most tight ends were lucky to catch 8 or 9 touchdown passes in a season. Then came 2011, where Rob Gronkowski changed everything. Playing for the New England Patriots with Tom Brady, Gronkowski caught 17 touchdown passes, obliterating Ditka's mark. At 6'6" and 265 pounds, he could overpower defensive backs and outrun linebackers, making him virtually unstoppable in the red zone. If you're enjoying these incredible record-breaking stories and want to help me reach 5,000 subscribers before the season starts, smash that subscribe button right now. Your support means everything and helps bring more amazing NFL content to football fans everywhere. Randy Moss, breaking Rice's touchdown perfection. Jerry Rice's 1987 season produced 22 touchdown catches, a number that seemed absolutely untouchable. Rice was playing with Joe Montana and Bill Walsh's West Coast offense, the perfect storm of talent, system, and opportunity. For 20 years, that record stood alone. Most receivers were lucky to catch 10 touchdown passes in a season. The record seemed safe because it required everything to align perfectly: an elite quarterback, an elite receiver, and enough red zone opportunities. Then came 2007, and Randy Moss exploded onto the scene with the undefeated New England Patriots. Moss caught 23 touchdown passes, surpassing Rice's 2-decade-old mark. The chemistry between Moss and Tom Brady was so perfect that defensive coordinators started having nightmares about covering number 81. Drew Brees, ending Unitas' sacred streak. Johnny Unitas' streak of 47 consecutive games with a touchdown pass was one of those records that seemed absolutely untouchable. From 1956 to 1960, Unitas threw at least one touchdown pass in every single game he played, a level of consistency that seemed impossible to replicate. For over 50 years, that record stood as a testament to Unitas' greatness. You couldn't have a bad game, you couldn't get shut out, you couldn't have your team rely entirely on running or defense. For 47 straight games, Unitas found a way to get the ball into the end zone through the air. Then Drew Brees began his own legendary run in 2009. Playing for the New Orleans Saints, Brees started a streak that would eventually reach 54 games, surpassing Unitas' seemingly unbreakable record. Game after game, Brees found a way to throw a touchdown pass, whether it was a short slant to Marquise Colston or a deep ball to Jimmy Graham. Morten Andersen, breaking Blanda's longevity record. For decades, George Blanda's career games played record of 340 games seemed untouchable. Blanda played 26 seasons from 1949 to 1975, serving as both a quarterback and a kicker. His longevity was unprecedented, playing professional football for over a quarter century when most players were lucky to last 5 years. Blanda's record felt unbreakable because of the sheer physical toll of playing that many games. The idea that anyone could maintain their body and skills for 340 NFL games seemed impossible. Most players' careers were over by their early 30s, but Blanda kept going into his late 40s. Then came Morten Andersen, who redefined what longevity meant in the NFL. The Danish kicker played 382 games over 25 seasons, breaking Blanda's record that had stood for decades. Andersen's precision and consistency allowed him to play at an elite level well into his 40s, proving that with the right position and preparation, even the most durable records could fall. Brett Favre, surpassing Marshall's Iron Man streak. Jim Marshall's consecutive games started streak of 282 games was one of the NFL's most respected records. The Minnesota Vikings defensive end started every single game from 1960 to 1979, never missing a start due to injury or any other reason. For 20 seasons, Marshall was the definition of reliability and toughness. Marshall's record seemed unbreakable because of what it represented. 2 full decades without missing a single start. The physical demands of playing defensive end, combined with the length of the streak, made it appear impossible for anyone to catch. Players get injured, they get sick, they have personal emergencies, but Marshall started through everything. Then Brett Favre came along and took durability to another level. On December 6, 2009, Favre started his 283rd consecutive game, breaking Marshall's seemingly unbreakable record. Favre would eventually extend the streak to 297 consecutive games, playing through broken bones, concussions, and countless other injuries that would sideline most players. Tom Brady, redefining age and excellence. For decades, the idea of a quarterback winning a Super Bowl past age 40 seemed impossible. When most quarterbacks were retiring in their mid-30s, winning a championship past 40 felt like fantasy. John Elway at age 38 in 1998 seemed like the absolute ceiling. Tom Brady completely redefined what was possible for an aging quarterback. Brady won Super Bowls at age 39, 41, and 43, with his victory at 43 with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers seeming to defy the laws of football physics. Brady's approach to training, nutrition, and body maintenance became legendary. His TB12 method focused on pliability and recovery in ways that previous generations never considered. He proved that with the right preparation, age could become just a number. These records remind us that in the NFL, impossible is just another word for hasn't happened yet. Every record that seemed untouchable eventually met a player who refused to accept limitations. From Rice's receiving dominance to Unitas' consistency, these legends proved that the only unbreakable records were the ones that haven't met the right player yet. The beauty of these achievements is that they all fell for the same reason. Someone refused to accept that the impossible was actually impossible. Whether it was Johnson's physical dominance, Gronkowski's red zone mastery, or Brady's ageless excellence, these players proved that records exist to be broken. The next time you hear someone say a record will never be broken, remember these stories. Somewhere out there, there's probably a player working to prove everyone wrong. And when they do, we'll get to witness the beautiful moment when impossible becomes inevitable. If you enjoyed learning about these incredible record-breaking performances, smash that like button to help more football fans discover these amazing stories. And if you want to see more deep dives into NFL history and the players who rewrote the record books, make sure to subscribe to Extra Point Explanation. Thanks for watching, and remember, the best records aren't the ones that can't be broken, they're the ones that inspire the next generation to try.